We'll touch base with our reporter there, Hasina Gwari is there, and she'll give us the latest. Going back to one of our top stories now, the ANC in Tshwane has threatened legal action against Mayor Stevens Mokgalapa over the contract extension of the city manager, Dr. Moeketsi Mosola, by another month. This after Mosola reached a golden handshake agreement estimated at over 7 million rand. The agreement stated that Mosola's contract would be terminated by the end of July, leading to an appointment of an acting city manager who was supposed to start his work this month. A new acting city manager was also appointed but will now have to await Mosola's eventual exit. For analysis on this, let us once again try to connect to Professor Dirk Kotze. Prof is Professor of Political Science at the University of South Africa, and he joins us now live from our studios in Pretoria. Prof, welcome back. You were explaining if what is currently taking place at the City of Tshwane is a political game.
Well, as I started to say, there is definitely a political component. If we look back to the period before the election, when the EFF was the strategic partner of the DA in the coalition government setup, there the EFF insisted that he must be reinstated as the city manager after his dismissal. Since the election, and now that the EFF has withdrawn from this arrangement with the DA, what we have seen is that the metro budget was approved by the DA and the ANC. So the ANC has become much closer to, and in a sense replaced almost the role that the EFF has played. What the ANC's position is now is the opposite of that of the EFF, and that is to insist that the city manager, Dr. Mosola, that he must be dismissed. And therefore they are critical of the fact that the special leave has been extended for 1 month. This is on the backdrop of a very big project called Glad Africa that involved about 1 billion rand. And that was then identified as a contract that didn't follow the proper procedures. So it is one of the key issues in the council at the moment about how to deal with unprocedural, maybe some can say even corrupt practices, and the position that the ANC is taking is quite interesting.
I wanted to get your opinion on whether this threat, is it a genuine one by the ANC really? Are they really after the interest of the people of City of Tshwane? Or as you said, this is just part of political squabbles that we see playing out in that council?
Well, I think there is a bit of both. On the one hand, this, as I indicated, is a major contract and it could have very negative effects on the City of Tshwane and the metro activities. So in order to stop that at the early stage, that is definitely in the interest of the whole of Tshwane. At the same time, I think it is a test by the ANC to what type of influence do they have over the DA. To what extent can they play that role that the EFF played in the past? In order, though they are not officially part of any coalition government, to what extent are they actually the power behind the scenes? And I think, therefore, it is very significant of what is going to be the outcome of this and how the DA especially is going to deal with this. Because maybe if we take it again, just a step back, when the EFF withdrew from the arrangement with the DA, I think the expectation is that a governance crisis will develop in Tshwane. And to a large extent, the ANC avoided that by voting with the DA for the budget. And I think because of that, there is therefore lots of reasons for the DA not simply to dismiss the ANC, but to take this quite seriously.
Yeah, but why are we not seeing the two political parties working together instead of the tensions that we continue to see, not just at the City of Tshwane? We sort of saw the same scenario playing out in Alexandra. So we do know, of course, the DA is in control of the City of Johannesburg and the City of Tshwane, and the ANC, of course, it looks like there are tensions to try to outdo each other. So at the end of the day, it is the residents who are suffering the most, Prof, isn't it?
Well, that in the end it is. If there's not stability in the local governance, local government, whether it's coalition or not, but if there's a lot of infighting, if there's a lot of differences of opinion, if they cannot take effective decisions, for example, at the last Metro Council, the council meeting took longer than 12 hours, and they couldn't couldn't conclude the agenda completely. So it's indicative of how much undercurrents are there in the Tshwane Council at the moment, and how difficult the situation is to really effectively take decisions here.
All right, Prof, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for your time. Professor Dirk Kotze is a Professor for Political Sciences at the University of South Africa, joining us from our studios in Pretoria. We're taking a quick